sometimes wonder if like Instagram has a similar effect to pornography. Like somebody watches pornography and they begin by going like, okay, this is not real. And it's evil and all that, but it's not real. It's fantasy. Like this isn't how our lives look, you know. But like that lie actually goes way deeper than you thought it did. And so you cut off as much of that lie as you thought was there. Yeah. And then you interact with your spouse and you see your marriage and you find yourself disappointed. And then you realize it's there. It's way, actually, you didn't know. You thought you knew it was just fantasy. But you realize now that, okay, I've bought into this lie way more than I thought I did. Okay, so I think Instagram is kind of like that for maybe women, I don't know. Whereas like you see these women with their beautiful houses and their beautiful children and their beautiful everything, and you say, okay, this isn't real life. Like I know this isn't real life, but I don't know if you do know it. I think you kind of think it is real life.
Yeah,
and then you hate yourself because your life doesn't look like that. Which is why I actually do appreciate, I don't know how I went down this rabbit hole, but I was like on Drew Barrymore's Instagram account the other day. I don't know how that happened.
Well, it happened.
It happened, and there it is. But she was like posting photos of herself, and it was like no makeup, and I think that's kind of beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the kind of criticism these folks must get? They have to look a certain way, and so I always feel like, that's beautiful. You're kind of giving women the freedom to look like a human being.
Yeah, I don't think that
and to look their age,
enough.
you know.
Yeah, true. I think that's. I am always encouraged when I hear of people being like that. I think what tends to bother me too is like acting like you're an expert on every facet of life, right? Like I think and again, maybe this is my problem with influencer culture. No. I don't know about like a lot of life, right? Like we out here trying. Like I'm especially things like marriage and motherhood. I've been married for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've been a mother, right? Technically since I got pregnant with my daughter, but like, I don't know how to be a mother. Like, I don't know how to be married. I'm being taught. And I think there's times to share like the young wisdom that we're being taught. You know, I think there's a time for that. But these women who are out here on these platforms, number one, sharing very, very personal things on a daily, weekly, whatever basis, that perhaps their husband said to them or something they received in prayer. It's like, there's a time for that. But if that's constant and if that's what garners your follows, like that's really...
You're just kind of bleeding on camera and that did well. So you just keep
going. Yeah. And I think a lot of women will act like, I don't know if men do this on social media. I'm more fascinated by like the women on social media question, but specifically like Instagram, TikTok, like there's just this push of like accept my opinion on everything, and then from healthy eating to fitness to motherhood to prayer and it becomes like all encompassing. And so you literally ask people to follow you, like follow me, like come imitate my life and look at me, which is like the only life we're supposed to be imitating is Christ. So the only life we're supposed to follow is Christ. So I think it is kind of insidious when you look at it that way. I'd say nothing about the intentions of these women. I'm sure they're extremely well intentioned and probably way more prayerful and holy than me. So I probably should shut up.
No, what you're saying is obvious to anybody who's a thinking human being, I'm sure.
I would hope so.
I mean, who's out there going like, bull crap, there are no pitfalls to social media.
Social media is the best.
Yeah, there is no temptation to narcissism when you're posting filtered photos of yourself.
But I think a lot of people think they're like more exempt of that temptation. Like more people think they're exempt of that temptation than like is actually real. Am I saying that correctly?
Who's exempt? The people following or the people asking to be followed?
The people asking to be followed. I think a lot of people would say like, oh, I deal with the temptation just fine. And it's like, that's not necessarily.
No, that's right. I remember I asked Christopher West when I was starting to speak a lot more and had books coming out. And I was like, how do you deal with like, and he said something like, oh no, like just accept that it has screwed you up. There's no way it can't. Yeah. And now deal with that. As opposed to, no, I think I'm doing great. Yeah.
I remember asking you something similar in one of our first conversations when I was starting Magdala. And I said, I was like, how do you not get prideful? And you're like, oh, you do. Like, do it prideful. Like, don't think that your pride will inhibit God's work in you. You know?
Good job, man.
Like,
That's
like
really
do it prideful is what you said. Yeah. Do it prideful and let God correct your pride.
Yeah. I'm always a big fan of that. If something's worth doing, it's worth doing badly.
And then let the Lord figure it out for you.
Hey, thanks for watching that clip. Would you like this beautiful, very high quality, definitely not made in China, not that there's anything wrong with that, Pints with Aquinas beer stein for free, sent to your door? Would you also like a copy of The Jill sent to your door 4 times a year? This is the Pints with Aquinas newspaper, by the way. If you do, go to mattfradd.locals.com and become an annual supporter for any amount. We'll send you that stuff for free, and you get a bunch of other free things in return. You'll get more information by going over to mattfradd.locals.com. Thanks.